exciting day this has been, meeting everyone in the business side, investment side, and the corporation side. I'm Frank Lane, President of Cannabis FN. We are the leading financial network dedicated to the cannabis industry. We serve as a corporate communication platform for companies in the space. There's a lot of misinformation and stigma attached to the industry, so we help these companies tell their story so investors can really see their true value. I'm also the Vice President of the parent company, TDM Financial, so I'm going to say a few words about that, talk about the industry and the landscape, and really the catalysts that are in place now and upcoming that are going to continue to grow the industry. That's the key part. The role of financial media, and then how Cannabis FN is addressing that. So very quickly, we're a financial media and digital IR firm. Our core competency, we build and operate financial networks, and they all have the same mission to engage the best and broadest audience possible in each industry. We've been in this for a long time. SEC Filings is our flagship property, over 10 years old, 600,000 subscribers. These are investors from institutions, retail analysts, really the full gamut of the investment community. And we launched Cannabis FN in November. We were able to move very quickly and ramp up because of our expertise. We have our own journalists, writers, designers, and producers. And the model is the same for our networks. They're free for investors and offered as a corporate communication platform to public companies. We also have ancillary services. We do all digital marketing, SEC compliant, social media, websites, funding introduction. So let's get to the market. That looks like a great chart, looking at that now. Health Canada has Canada at $1.3 billion by 2024, and a recent report has the U.S. recreational and medical marijuana market growing to $8 billion in 5 years. Many are calling it the next great American industry. You can see this year, last year actually, 64% growth rate. And again, in the next 5 years, there's going to be a handful of states that are going to come online and allow medical marijuana legally. And our view expects the market to go as high as $10 billion. Some are even saying it could eclipse the wine industry at $35 billion if the U.S. legalizes medical marijuana federally. So these rapid growth rates, they're bringing in a lot of investors and offering high multiples. As the industry continues to legitimize, you're going to see more professionals, funding, and technology flow into the market. So you're going to have improved business models, new opportunities, and ancillary services. When you look at the space, the growers and the dispensaries stand to make the most in terms of that market share. But you've got seed developers that could have high multiples as they create new strains that will yield specific CBD to THC levels to address specific medical indications. That's really the opportunity there. But it's the ancillary services. If you think where the real value is going to come on the recreational side, if you're a company that's dedicated to being consumer-oriented, you're going to do well. And that is making products so that users can actually ingest the recreational marijuana. On the medical side, if you act like a caregiver, you'll be successful. There are now 60 international health agencies that are advocating patient access to cannabis, medical cannabis, and it's only going to grow. And so ancillary services such as testing, so that the quality of the medical marijuana is where it should be, payment services for dispensaries because the banking system hasn't fully come online, and then technology for delivery systems to actually take in the marijuana. This morning, Minnesota announced that they may, in fact, bring in medical marijuana legally, but you can't smoke it, so you'd have to have other ways of ingesting it. So that opens up opportunities for companies to vaporize it or provide other methods. These are some of the ancillary services we're seeing, and every day it seems like new companies are coming in and filling the void and operating with these business models. And now with the catalyst, we all know about the MMPR. We've got 12 LPs already, 20 in the process. It is slower than we thought, and there seems to be an undersupply. But something that America can't do is this export. This is a huge advantage to Canada. They can import and export medical marijuana to adjust to under and oversupply. So as the supply grows, they're going to continue driving revenue by exporting it to Europe and China and Uruguay, which is now legal. And, you know, if the U.S. goes the same route and legalizes, they'll be able to export. It could be a gigantic market. 22 states in the U.S. are already allowing some form of medical marijuana. We have 5 or 6 that are either in the process or have already done that. Vegas and Nevada are coming online in June. They're expecting to make $10 million just in the first few months. And Florida could be really big in November. That's a very populated state. And of course, 2 allow it recreationally, the state I'm from, Washington, and Colorado. Now, Colorado is expecting $40 million in tax receipts this year. It started slow, as most new things do. The bureaucracy was hard to get licensed, and there was an undersupply. But now they seem to be moving quicker, and states are going to look at that. A lot of states are suffering. They're strapped with budgets and cash, and they may go the same way. There's a generational acceptance. We've seen crime rates decrease as this moves into states. And of course, the enforcement dollars go down too. But I think the big thing on the medical side is the advancement in cannabis and CBD medical research. If you look at GW Pharmaceutical, which is kind of the bigger company in the space, they now have an orphan drug designation by the FDA. That means that there are medical indications that aren't being addressed right now because there aren't a large pool of sufferers. So Big Pharma has really bypassed it. But it's an opportunity to fast-track a drug, get it commercialized, and start making revenue. That's huge, and there's going to be more of it. In terms of the financial media's role, we believe that they should do 3 things very well. And that's mass communication. That's why you have news wires. They do that really well. Fostering transparency and accuracy. That is separating the facts from the hype. You know, investors today, they just want to know what the disclosed information is, what that means to the company, and what action they should take. And then finally, with new media, it's been able to personalize companies. Companies are now able to personalize themselves, their management team, their business model among the investment community. And this helps the investors more quickly, trust the company, feel comfortable about investing. You've seen CNBC do this really well over the last 2 decades. Jim Cramer, he'll interview CEOs, heads of companies. It's really helpful to investors. With new media, you can interact with the CEOs through social media and forums and really understand that they're not only real people, but they've got a mission and they've got commitment and passion. So with Cannabis FN, we realized we had to develop a single portal, which is really a network, that will help not only investors, business leaders, but heads of companies. And we offer market-moving news, regulatory coverage, industry thought leaders, and really profile the market-defining companies, the companies that are going to have the best chance to move forward in the industry. In terms of our reach, we're able to get really everywhere the investors are. We've got the Medical Marijuana Index, the 420 Investor, which is the best community I've seen out there. They have over 2,000 dedicated investors. And then, of course, mainstream sites like Yahoo Finance right in the news feeds of other marijuana stocks, and then we can email it to our own community. So we're really a vast network that will get messaging in front of the right audience. In terms of accurate information, everything we do is fact-checked. It's based on publicly disclosed information, no hype, and it's interviewing the management team and writing articles, so we're really educating the investors so that they feel more comfortable about the company and their story. It's really designed, like I said, to educate investors. So finally, and I do have a video, so I was moving quickly to see if we could play that. But the final thing that media should do again is to personalize these companies and to allow investors to engage with them directly through social media and forums and other methods. And so we're doing that. We shoot video, we get it out so that people can see that this is a real company with real passion and vision, and then we allow the investors to interact with them and feel like their questions are being addressed. And with that, I'll show you just a quick intro into what our coverage looks like.
Hi, this is Mike Elliott, and you're watching the Cannabis Financial Network's Executive Interview Series. In this episode, we'll be talking to Mr. Michael Withrow, CEO of Abatis Bioceuticals Corp. Abatis Bioceuticals is a fully integrated bioceutical company that cultivates, extracts, develops, and markets proprietary natural health and wellness products derived from cannabis that addresses the unmet health and wellness needs of its customers and patients through targeted nutritional and medicinal support. Abatis is a publicly traded company listed on the US OTC under ticker symbol ATTBF and on the Canadian CSE under the symbol ATT. Good afternoon, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Good to be here.
For those who aren't yet familiar with Abatis, could you give us a quick overview of your business model and how your approach to providing shareholder value differs from other cannabis plays in your space?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Our company has taken the approach of hedging itself in the sense that we have licenses to cultivate marijuana that we've applied for across Canada to create a national strategy. And in Canada, we can operate in a federal jurisdiction and do it legally, whereas in the U.S., we have assembled products which we can sell that don't actually go hands-on the cannabis, and as it becomes legal at a federal level there, then we can start working with partnerships with the people that we set up with the type of cultivation equipment and nutrients and other technologies that we own to partner with them and grow our business that way.
And you alluded to this a little bit. Many of our investors may not be familiar with the differences in the legal environment for medical marijuana.
Very good. So that company, Abatis, is actually based in Vancouver, and they have really a wonderful story. And through that kind of media, investors saw the actual vision, the commitment, and passion of the company. And so with that, I'd like to close and thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show and the party that follows. And thank you very much.
Now we're going to have the Media Power Hour. I'd like to introduce Marcus New from Stockhouse.
Okay. Well, we need that presentation stuff. Oh, yeah, he's got it. You know, I'm going to introduce to you Chris Perry, who's been covering this industry every single day on Stockhouse. And has done an amazing job covering all the companies, the investors, the actors that are all in this business. And so he's going to give you kind of his insights into the different companies that are here in the industry, what's going on in the industry from the investor's perspective, and how you can understand it better and therefore benefit from it as investors. So please, Chris, come on up and he will tell you a little bit about what he's doing.
Thanks, everybody. Repeat performance is not something I'm used to. Just wait for my presentation to get up there for a while. We're waiting for that. So I've been writing about medical marijuana as a investment opportunity now for, I guess, as long as just about anybody, which means about 3 months. What I've heard from people who've been in various conferences about medical marijuana over the last 6 months is that there's a lot of people who say, yay, medical marijuana, it's great, everyone's going to benefit. But no one actually gets down to the business of how do we make money out of this business. Right now we're in the midst of a dot-bomb bubble, as far as I'm concerned. But that just means that there's going to be a little bit of attrition, some acquisition, and eventually a real investment opportunity will come out at the end of it. So you may have noticed if you've paid attention to a lot of news releases for some various mining companies that they don't actually refer to this as the medical marijuana industry yet. They refer to it as the exploration of opportunities in agriculture, biotech, finance, health, and mining, or various combinations of that. What that basically means is we don't want to get whole traded for a change of business, and we don't really want to tell you what we're doing yet, but please invest money in us because it's going to be great. So where this all started was about 3 months ago. Around 40 Canadian companies decided to launch into this thing over the last 3 months. Some of them shells have been waiting for an opportunity, some of them mining companies have been waiting to do some mining, and some of them have been slowly, quietly